Howdy, howdy. Just fixing this stupid hangar door because the bearing decided to, oh, am I not the only person drinking a Dr. Pepper in the morning? Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. I had one in the car, but I'm fixing this stupid thing because it spun out. Show me the goods. So I didn't even know you had two of them. Yeah. So it makes my life super easy.
One of these doesn't work, so you just use it as a spare part.
Oh, it's sick. Yeah.
More than likely, it's the tag, the guy with the tag that works.
Interesting. Well, what's wrong with this one?
It's like some dumb stuff. I think the solenoid in there does not work, or it's a software issue.
Maybe I'll replace it.
Yeah, like apparently this was recalled and.
Wait, did you send it into Garmin?
No.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll call them.
I've taken it apart. I've looked at what's going on in there. It's actually very fascinating, very smart how they designed it.
Interesting.
But, yeah. So there's like a clutching mechanism right now. It's freewheeling.
Yeah.
For safety.
Yeah.
Imagine. Then a solenoid like magnetizes something, causes two gears to contact each other.
Maybe I'll send this one in because I know Garmin they'll do overhauls for it. So you might even be able to send this in.
They could.
And then just wait for it instead of buying a second motor for it. That was Jacob coming by to drop off the Garmin units that we're going to install. And now we're going to install this new thing here. So, got some goodies today. Well, I'm letting those grips dry. Gotta wait like 30 minutes in between coats. But I got some other stuff, which is the bolts that I need to finally close this off right here. So yeah, we're just gonna do that real quick. I swear I ordered the right one. That would suck, because these are a little bit expensive. On the plus side, I do at least have my eye bolts, which are these bad boys. Need to go in there. So we'll just plop these in there first. Howdy, howdy. Just realizing that I ordered the wrong bolt and not the wrong nut. Well, it's really annoying because the book says one thing for the kind of lock nut you need, and then there's a note that says another thing, and so it's like, okay, what size do I order? Because I know it's the size is right for the bolt that I got, but the coarseness is incorrect. So either I think that's too coarse. These are studs that go right into the nose gear strut. I don't know, I think they're either 18 or 24 on the thread size, and then I got the size right. Yeah. But I think it'll sort of go on there, but it'll catch, and the reason I think the thread is just incorrect, even though the size might be there. Man, it takes so long to get these damn things in the mail.
That's the problem with it. It's the biggest thing on the project.
It kills me.
Check it out for you.
No, I bought the equipment to do the magnetic testing myself. It's not too hard. So I bought this thing, and it didn't have log books. Now the person who sold it to me told me that there wasn't a prop strike, but I was talking with some people, and they're like, well, if it doesn't have log books, you can't really. I mean, somebody can lie to you, right? And we already have the thing in pieces. It wouldn't take more than a couple hours to split this case open, and then check out the crank, and then we'll know for certain. You know, because if you get a prop strike, the biggest thing is the cam and the crank possibly cracking. So we're going to take that. I'm not too concerned about the crankcase. You know, we poured over it pretty much everywhere, but I'm more concerned. I want to make sure, like absolutely certain, that the crank is good. Oh yeah, no, I ordered it. It's on the way. It's a couple $100. I was talking with my buddies, and they're like, they're one of them is an A&P, one of the other. And I'm talking with them, and I told them I wanted to do the testing myself, and they're like, you got to be certified. I think for certified, they ask you for 2 years to read the results. But I'm like, this is not rocket science. Like the magnetic particle type. So I've seen one redneck guy with a cigarette on YouTube do the magnetic testing. You don't even need an electromagnet. I've seen people do it with 2 permanent magnets and just swap it around. But I mean, there's some technique to it, but it's not magic. It's just magnets. I don't think that based on the aircraft that they had a prop strike, but you know, you can never know. I mean, with something like this, and we already have it apart. So it's like, might as well. And I'm gonna put another coat of rubber on these things. You can have that if you want it. It don't fit. Yeah, the hole on the grip is a little bit bigger, but I'm also going to put an autopilot in there. I'm in luck. I got 2 of these servos from a buddy of mine. One of them doesn't work. This one works. But the great thing is there's a recall on these. I can send them in, get new ones from Garmin for free. And I have a 507.
Great.
And I'm going to redo the panel. Initially, I was going to put a G3X in there because it's not that hard to wire up. But I was talking with some people, and they're like, you know what, just keep the G5s.
Yeah,
you know,
it's already got the AHRS.
Yeah.
You gotta find an AHRS.
Well,
it's already got the GOB11.
If I put the G3X in there, it's $4,000 for what I want to put in there, plus $1,000 for the engine monitoring. Well, more like 2.3 with the sensors. And if I put in the G3X, I definitely want to put in the engine monitoring. So it's like, well, or I could just not do any of that and just keep the G5 and you know, put the money towards other stuff. I'll probably just keep the G5 and have these. Yeah, but I'm gonna redo all these panels because it's. I don't know whoever made that panel. Maybe they were just tired of building the plane, but it's just. I mean, it's just not good. Like, I mean, everything's written in Sharpie, and you know, the layout is just. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's just not. It could be better, and there's a couple things I'm gonna move and get rid of, and I'm gonna put the iPad mount. I'm gonna put an iPad mount, a flush panel mount, right next to G5s. So G5s are gonna be here, iPad mount's gonna be there. But yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm almost to the point where I'm gonna order. I 3D scanned the whole panel, then I used that to make the design because the designs didn't exist for this. They were only paper templates that you could get from the kit, and they don't exist. And there's a bunch of like quote unquote complex curves, and I didn't feel like doing all the stuff to actually measure the curves, so I just 3D scanned it. I see, interesting. Well, best of luck with your mag trail. I gotta send mine to be overhauled soon. Where did I put, thanks. Howdy, howdy. How's it going? No, not yet, but I decided to split the case.
Good man.
Yeah, we're gonna, well, we already have it there, so I ordered, yeah, well, I mean, you were right, I mean, it's right there, and I talked with my engine guy, and he's like, yeah, we'll split it. And I ordered the equipment. We're gonna do yeah, that's true. Well, we're gonna magnetically test. I'll do both the crankcase and the crank. So I'm not gonna get it like fluorescent or anything like that, but I ordered the equipment to do it. It was like $200, something like that. You can get them for $500 or $600, but I'm gonna tell you something right now. There's a little secret. you can order these pieces of equipment. You can order them from China. Guess what? The ones that you buy in America come from China. They just remove the little sticker that says made in China. But I mean, I've seen some people, they do it with permanent magnets. I mean, you don't need an electromagnet. It's just stronger. So you get a better result, but it's not too hard to do it yourself. So essentially how the magnetic particle testing works is when you magnetize a piece of metal, it runs through parallel, and anytime there's a break in the metal, or a crack, it creates two poles. So if you have two pieces of metal and you put them together, there'll be a north and a south pole and a north and a south pole. And then the reason you see the crack is because when you have two poles that are opposing each other, that's where it'll gather. But if you have one continuous piece of metal, there'll be a north-south pole. But if you have two pieces of metal, it'll be a north-south, north-south. So that is when you get a crack, it creates in the magnetic field essentially another.
Does it have to be in line with it, or it doesn't matter?
It does have to be in line with it. So when you're testing it, you have to actually do this, and then you have to rotate it, and then after you're done, you actually have to demagnetize the thing too.
So you're going to have to do each of the throws.
Exactly. I mean, it takes probably 30 to 60 minutes to do just a crank. Yeah, the camshaft, yeah, the same. And I already have the whole game. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're right. And the thing is too, it's already here. It's like it's like 6 or 8 hours of work to do it, and
You're ready to go.
yeah, and I have the whole gasket set anyways because I ordered it. So we're gonna do that over the next couple of days, and yeah. Check these out. I made these flight sticks because I looked at the price of flight sticks on aircraft spruce, and I was like, I can make my own. These are 3D printed. So it's just a printer that can print in 3 dimensions. So these are printed in carbon fiber nylon. So these are actually, it's like almost like a, sorry dog. It's a fire resistant, so it's like self-extinguishing. And now I'm just spraying them in Plasti Dip.
Now, what are these?
These are flight sticks. So
What?
these are flight sticks.
Flight sticks.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be putting electric flaps and electric trim, and the flight stick that was in there before, it's nice, but it's made of wood and it doesn't have enough space for the buttons that I need to put on there. But yeah, these came out really nice, although it was a pain in the ass to print them, but yeah. Well, I mean, I looked at the price on aircraft spruce and I was like, yeah.
What are they? What are they made of?
They're made of carbon fiber nylon. So it's made of like essentially a
So you had to pour this?
No. So it's called 3D printing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, no, I have this 3D printer and it has a spool of material and it essentially goes around and prints each. So you can actually see the layer lines. It came out perfect. But
Awesome.
yeah, and then there's a faceplate that goes on there. So I cut out the buttons and then I 3D print the faceplate, wire up the buttons, and then that goes to the electric.
You are an energetic, crazy person.
Yeah, I like making. Well, the thing is, I looked at the price for these things, and it was like 100, 200. If you got one that looked like this, it would be like $300. And I was like, no, I can do that for $5 in materials.
Yeah.
You know, I have a 3D printer, and I can get something that looks nicer end result too.
Smart.
Yeah, well, I see the price for these things, and I'm like,
Smart.
it's just not. It's expensive. Why? But of course, you say smart, but then I ordered the wrong size bolt, and now I gotta wait another 2 weeks.
Is that there?
Yeah, no, these two stop bolts, and they have to be this high temp variant, I guess, because they're close to the engine, so they're a pain in the ass to find. I finished this.
Oh yeah.
So- Yeah, and there's bearings behind that too that I rotate
So how
on.
do you
So there's a piece of bearing right here that goes in there, and then just keeps it on. And this is what keeps the gear locked and down. These metal contacts
So
here.
how do you get these in there?
The bearings.
No, but this.
Those are studs into the thing. They come from the factory. This is actually the upgraded nose gear. This is actually upgraded. This is actually aftermarket limited run because these used to be made of aluminum. This also used to be made of aluminum. Now these are both steel. There was a problem with collapsing where you see this point right here. It would essentially shear, and you got a bunch of gear collapses. And this is actually not factory. This is aftermarket, but it's a limited run. Whoever got this got the good stuff because well, it's made of steel, so it's not gonna, hopefully, fingers crossed, shear. Because the biggest problem with Glasair 3s is nose gear collapses on landings, and it's because of this. or guys not tightening the shimmy damper. But now I got these things were like $5 each. And I got to put in the down lock springs. And after I put in the down lock springs, I can move this thing into the corner. But gotta wait for that stupid bolt to almost. And then I'm pretty close to being able to do the hydraulic testing. Put an iPad mount.
Get this project first flying.
I think I'm gonna do it before January. I think so. If I
Wait a minute. January
or February. That's what I'm going for. Well, because I got the cylinders are on the way. The prop is on the way.
Okay, I'll leave you now because you better get back to work.
Yeah. I think I'll be done. Well, my goal was to finish by the end of this month, but the guy who's making the prop is taking forever. So
End of December?
yeah, that's what I was aiming for initially. But the guy who's making the propeller, he's just taking forever. But I've used him before. He overhauled, so I had the Cirrus and I sold it. He overhauled the Cirrus propeller for me. So he's good, I know that. I'm about to send the mags out and the cylinders are already out. But honestly, after that, there's really not that much. I closed out the panel. I mean, we took apart this thing in a day. It's not gonna take more than a day to put everything in the interior back together. And other than making sure the gear retracts, there's really not too much work. I mean, you finish the,
Hydraulic or electric?
it's hydraulic. So once we do that, I mean, there's really not that much work after we put the engine back together.
So is it hydraulic off of its own pump?
It's hydraulic off of an electric pump.
Yeah.
But it's actually a pretty good system. All in all, like their gear retraction system is pretty neat, I think. But yeah, I think it'll be done. But I'll at least have it rollable pretty soon. I was hoping to do it today actually, but of course the bolt size was wrong, so still gotta wait on that. Howdy. But yeah, just getting after it, I guess. And then I think we can get another plane in here quite soon. Again, after I can roll this thing in the corner, that would be great.
Work on it though once you get it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't need that much space. The front.
This right here is just all my shit. Right here.
Yeah, so everything here is all your stuff. But I still think even with your stuff in here, we could fit another plane in here. Sounds good. I mean, the list is never ending, right? Yeah. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Yep. Lots of nice peeps out here. And turns out these bolts that I got did have a purpose. That was for these nuts under here. So we need N3, 6, 10 washers. And I believe it says to stack these such that this does not contact the shimmy damper. So they said 3 should be sufficient.